Holy shit. Bates Motel. We only got one more episode left, and it was bananas this episode. This episode, episode 9, was so good. It was so good because we have a lot of character interactions in this episode. So we're talking Bates Motel episode 9. What I really love about this episode is, yes, Norman is on trial in this episode, but it's not really Norman, it's Norma. And in this episode, somebody catches that. Somebody says, like, you're not, where's Norman? Where is he? It's really crazy, you know, that Dylan has to really, he has to think, like, okay, this guy, my brother most likely killed Emma's mother, and Emma is in this episode, and she's fighting, and she hears this news. We knew eventually Emma was going to find out this news, so Emma finds out this news, and man, just this episode was all about knowing that her mom is dead, and Dylan struggling knowing that he knew that Norman did it, but he couldn't do anything. He didn't do anything about it, or like he's still struggling knowing that, yes, he's my brother, and I think he's crazy. I think he needs help. I don't want to see him die. I want to see him get help. So I really felt for Dylan in this episode, because there's a lot of things that people are blaming him for, which I don't think it was necessarily too much his fault. He told Norma over and over again in the past, and Norma was just not listening. Other characters that make an appearance in this episode, Ramiro was so good in this episode with the little that he had to do in this episode, but that little that he had to do was really get it's rapping, right? His character, Norman's character, Dylan's character, all the characters are wrapping up. You can see the storylines kind of just all hitting to one, and this was a great setup to bring in that last episode. And I just really think the acting in here was top notch from a lot of the character interactions. That was the heart of the episode. That was the intrigue of the episode, even with lesser known characters like the lawyer, Romero's friend that's helping him out, like even the characters that necessarily we just meet this season or we haven't been with too long. They really held their own as well, because they were part of this story, a part of this episode that when they needed to be part of. I really think this episode was one of the best setup episodes, because I'm just like, my jaw dropped at the end of this episode. I just want to know, all right, we got one more. I want to know what's going to happen. How's this all going to go down? I'm pretty sure certain things are going to happen that are very obvious, but how is it going to happen? A lot of the tension in here was great. It was really a Dylan and Emma episode in my belief. I think Emma coming back, I mean, at first I was like, damn, Emma, like, take it easy, but you got to understand that Norman killed her mother. So Emma is taking this hard, but there is a certain interaction she has with somebody that really got me just really emotional. All that feels comes back to you. So like I said, the interactions were so great, and Dylan's conflict and all the other characters that were been involved in this series, like just a lot of great stuff happening in this episode. I didn't think it was, of course it didn't feel long. I felt like the pacing was great because we don't know what's going to happen. We didn't know what was going to happen in this episode, and I just really felt like the creators, the writers, everything, the actors, the production, like everything, everybody involved in this series has done a fantastic job. Bates Motel, we'll see how the ending is, because I always say you can have a great beginning, a great middle, but then if that ending is absolutely terrible, was it worth the ride? So we're going to see how the ending plays out, but so far every episode this season and throughout the whole season and throughout these seasons have been just absolutely great. They've been absolutely amazing. The only problem I had with maybe this episode is we didn't really get the time to really mourn, or kind of nobody was talking about Chick's death, because Chick did die in the last episode. So I'm just like, it was kind of they show them, but it's kind of, that's it. But I really do feel like this episode was a great setup to a fantastic fantastic series that's going to have hopefully a fantastic finale. I think I would have liked a little bit more visual of Norman talking as his mother than Norma being the actress who plays Norma there. But other than that, it was a great episode. So thank you guys for listening. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. Really appreciate it. Like the video if you like it. Comment below. Love to hear you guys' thoughts. I'm Dan Maggie, son. One more, baby. One more episode.